Let's be honest, South Africa's legal system is going through something right now. We've got a sitting judge president, one of the highest legal officers in the country, defending himself in a tribunal for sexual harassment allegations that are as bold as they are disturbing. And his defense? That no means no is apparently a Western concept. That emojis like the pitch and the dripping syringe are just a playful part of isiXhosa flirting. Now, you might be tempted to laugh, but it's not funny because this isn't just any workplace drama. This is a man who sits in judgment of others, a man who can decide whether someone walks free or goes to jail, a man who's supposed to embody fairness, ethics, and restraint, claiming that repeated sexual requests for sexual nude photos from his secretary were misunderstood courtship, culturally misread, or worse, flirtation. Let's get to it.
At page 1210, at 2236, HAYI, she says hi. In other words, you reckon we can be intimate this week? Then the answer is no.
What did you understand by that no? Because now we know you say it's a no.
Within the context of what was happening, I understood it plainly to mean that no, let us not be intimate on this occasion. Let's just meet face to face.
What if someone said you were showing the peeled banana refers to a circumcised male private part? What would you say?
I would have had to study a degree in these things to understand that.
Okay.
I heard that for the first time when Dr. Docrat was testifying, I think. Peeled banana means circumcised, so this and that.
Yes.
I don't know those things. But as I say, I was simply saying, when we meet, I was just going to share something nice with you. In the context of two people eating from the same plate, as a matter of example, I could have sent a chocolate to say, I was going to give you this. I could have shown anything that is nice or enjoyable. But clearly, it has got nothing to do with any, at least from my side. She laughs at that at 22:45. Then I ask her, what were you going to give to me?
When you strip away the legal language and the strategy, what we're really watching is power doing what power always does: deflect, diminish, and deny. This is not just a legal case. This is a cultural movement. This is the judiciary looking in the mirror and deciding what kind of institution it really is. Is it a protector of the vulnerable or a fortress for the powerful? Because if a court secretary says she felt harassed, humiliated, and stalked by her boss, and now we're debating emoji interpretation instead of asking how a judge ended up in her DMs 14 times, asking about her favorite sexual position, something is deeply off. Let's not forget, this is the first major sexual harassment case to reach a judicial conduct tribunal in South African history. And already the conversation is being steered away from accountability to semantics. The question should not be, did he misunderstand her emojis? The real question is, why was a judge president sending sexually charged messages to his employee at all? Because here's the thing, it doesn't take a law degree or a linguistic expert to know when a line is being crossed. It takes basic emotional intelligence and professional boundaries, something we expect from someone who wears robes and hands down judgment in a court of law.
Do you say that there's nothing regulating your conduct as a judicial officer?
There is.
And does that not also have an effect on sexual relationships at your office, at your workplace?
We don't have a sexual harassment policy, particularly.
And let's be clear, nobody's asking for a trial by media. Nobody's saying Mbenenge shouldn't defend himself. He should. He must. That's justice. But what's also justice is this, that women in our workplaces, including courts, are allowed to say, this made me feel uncomfortable, without having their intentions put on trial instead. Because when the system starts asking, why didn't she leave? Or what did she really mean by that emoji? Because it stops being about justice. It starts being about protecting the castle. This tribunal is a test, not just of one man, but of how seriously we take misconduct when it's not happening in a shack, but in chambers. Not by a man with a balaclava, but a man in a robe. This is about whether we believe that power should come with limits and whether women, especially those in political connection or fancy surnames, are protected when they speak up. Whatever the outcome of this case, and yes, he must be presumed innocent until this tribunal decides, the messages this sends will echo far beyond Mbenenge's bench. Because if we let this slide, if we normalize powerful men defending unsolicited sexual messages as cultural miscommunication, if we reduce a secretary's trauma to a battle of emojis and linguistics, then we are telling every woman in South Africa, you can be harassed by your boss and then interrogated for not smiling while it happened. That's not justice. This is so embarrassing. We should be embarrassed as South Africans. We should not let something like this happen. I'm Nikki Wenimo for News and Politics. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay winning.
I said, requesting this type of image by removing the top part, especially in the absence of a personal relationship, because there was no personal relationship yet, and in the presence of professional hierarchy, amounts to sexual harassment, particularly when this recipient is not adhering to the request.
I disagree with you. I'll tell you why I disagree with you. It might be that it's more a matter for argument, but sexual harassment at the core thereof, or at the center of it, is the issue of whether conduct is welcome or unwelcome. Whether you read it from the perspective of the Employment Equality Act, or you read it from the perspective of the Code of Good Practice on the Prevention of Harassment, at the center of it is the issue of whether the conduct is wanted or unwanted. So my answer is simply that she had sent a picture, she had met what I requested from her, I commented stylish, she responded saying, you got a fine eye too. This is a discussion between two adults. From what I'm reading, I don't find anything that encapsulates unwantedness.